Hey guys, thanks for clicking. I really appreciate that. So today we are going to talk about our Badboy mower. This is a Maverick 60-inch. It is not the HD model. It is the straight up Maverick model. So let's take a look at it. Quick history. It's a 2020 model. We bought it in 2019, so we've been using it for a few years. We are a lawn service. We use it commercially. This is one of our #1 machines. It's out there every single week. I don't know, maybe we put like 250, 300 hours a year on like those machines. We have a couple machines, so it splits it up. But let's take a look at the machine. And like I said, for those of you who can't wait, the magic question is, would you or would you not buy another Badboy? And yes, we would buy another Badboy in a heartbeat. And I'm gonna go over the machine and I'm gonna tell you why. Let's check it out. All right, folks, and here it is. This is, again, like I said, this is the Badboy. This is the Maverick, not the Maverick HD. And it is a 60-inch mower. And this one has the full bagger system on it, so we're going to review the bagger system on the machine as well, and we'll cover like how it holds up, and we're going to go over any problem and all problems that we had with the machine and see what you think. All right, so let's go over some of the statistics. It is leaf season and she's a little dirty. We got to blow her off, so I apologize if it looks a little messy, but this one has the Kawasaki. This is the FS, not the FX, which pretty much I believe is the same engine. It's a 25 or 26 horsepower engine. It just, the FX has a better air intake system. But other than that, it's pretty much the same. It has a 3200 series hydros, which I believe the HD has the 3400 series, and because we have another machine with 3400 series on it, I can tell you there is a difference between the 32 and 3400 series hydros. They're a lot faster, a lot more responsive. So this one does a really good job. It just probably feels a little sluggish because of that. Definitely not a deal breaker. And like I said, this is a 60-inch deck, and we have the full bagger system on here, the 3-bag system. All right, so let's talk about this. So it actually has what you call a suspension. Not a full suspension, but it does. These control arms do move. There is rubber bushings. They go up and down. In the rear of the machine, let's see if I can get underneath there. But in the rear of the machine, the actual hydros are part of the suspension. So they pivot on this bolt from front to back. So as the machine goes up and down, these hydros will move, sorry about the close, they will move up and down like an independent rear suspension. Now, so here's a few pros and cons to the suspension. It does give you a little bit of a nicer ride. This, like I said, is not the HD model. The HD model, I believe, comes with a upgraded seat that has a suspension. This one does not have a suspension in the seat. So in my personal opinion, I think you're better off with the suspension seat than an actual suspension on the machine. And I'm going to tell you exactly why I feel that way. On properties with really steep inclines, okay? If you go up and down, which a lot of times you have no choice, you go up and down on those inclines with the suspension that this machine has. When you go up the hill, you're going to notice that it lifts up the front of the mower deck. And when you go down the hill, the machine pitches. So when you lay your stripes up and down that hill, you will notice a difference in the cut height. So there's your pros and cons to the suspension on the Maverick. If you go side to side on the hill, it doesn't tilt like this or like that. It cuts pretty nice on the side. So that's probably my one gripe with the suspension, and that's probably why I say the seat would be better. We have a comparable mower It's a Hustler Fast Track. It does not have a chassis suspension, but it does have a really nice seat suspension. And I'm telling you, that's the way I would go personally. But let's get on to some other things with the machine. So not to drag it out too much, but you know, I covered the suspension. I've covered the hydros. Like I said, I really think if I did buy another Maverick, I would definitely go for the HD version that has the bigger hydros in it. Not going to talk too much about engines because that's really not a review on the actual machine. We're big Kawasaki fans. I'll put a little link or in the end screen about a few engine reviews because we've had every kind of engine. Hondas, and we've had the Briggs & Stratton and the Kohler if you must. And to me, Kawasaki is just a bulletproof engine. They've never let me down, and we've had several of them. So that's all I'm going to talk about with the engines today because, like I said, it's really about the machine, not necessarily your power plant. All right, so let's start with what has broken on this machine and what have we replaced on this machine other than just basic maintenance like oil changes. Okay, so I told you we have almost 1,000 hours on the machine, and the problems that we did, let's see, the front wheel bearings we replaced because they went bad, and there are no grease fittings on the spindles for these wheels. So the bearings were pretty cheap and really kind of easy to replace, so it really wasn't a big deal. And the other thing, which was not too long ago, it's probably about 800 and something hours, we replaced the spindles on the mower deck because, again, these are maintenance-free spindles. They do not have grease fittings. I don't know why, but they don't. I'll put it in the end screen also, a video on changing those. You don't actually have to change the entire spindle. You can change the bearings. We just replaced them all because that's the way we did it. We were in a time crunch. You know, 800 something hours changing the spindles. I'm not going to say it's a deal breaker, but I would like to see greasable fittings on there. If I had to critique it, I think that would be a much better move. We do not have a power deck lift on this, but it has an extended arm on it for your foot, meaning you have a little more leverage than some of the other machines. And to put that mower deck up and down makes it really easy. Now, I tell you, you know, I'm not a spring chicken, and having that extended arm to lift that mower deck when you need to, especially us, because we're doing commercial properties, and there's a lot of times that we have to lift that deck up while we're cutting. And the way the Badboy system is, it's really a great system. I showed you the arm where you put your foot to lift it up. Works really nice. It's tall, gives you a lot of leverage. It's not a strain at all to move it. And probably one of the best things on the Badboy, I think some other machines have it, but on the best, let me show you, is the deck height adjustment. All right, so this is what Badboy has. Goes up to 4.5. You literally just spin this and you set your height. There's no pins, there's no locking. It's really easy sitting on the machine. You just push this pedal down, you go right over to your dial, and you set your height wherever you want to set, and you let go. I'm gonna put it back on 4.5, but like that's it. So you push it down, set your dial, you're good to go. That is probably one of my favorite options. I do believe, I think like some Cub Cadets have the spinny. I'm not sure about all the machines out there. I know like our Ferris machine has a pin. You got to push the thing, you got to lift the pin. Our Hustler has a similar type pin situation. The Toro, well, we had a Toro, but that was an older machine. That one you actually had to pull the pin on that one too. But so having that that's a thumbs up for Badboy. Nice job on that. Really well designed. All right, so let's talk about other problems that we've had with the machine. I think when I first bought the machine, let me flip this back up. When I first bought the machine, I had a little situation where the machine would run for about 10 minutes and then it would die. Now, as annoying as that was, it was really not a big deal. There's a vent hose that comes out of your gas tank, goes down to this canister here, and the way the vent hose runs over here, it got kinked, and that's what was causing it wasn't getting air. Really was a simple fix. It was kind of like one of those things, why did you know, for something so stupid, I think they could have done a better job at inspecting the machine before it came out, but really that wasn't a deal breaker at all. One of the other problems we had with the machine was, let's see if I can get down here. Yeah, so the front bolt, remember I said there was a suspension for the hydro? So this is the front bolt, and there's another one up here. I really can't show it, but that bolt fell out. So it just vibrated loose. It fell out, and then the hydro, when you put strain on it, was moving, and then the belt was losing tension, so it was losing power. I thought it was a bigger deal than it was. I was like, oh no, we blew one of the hydros. That wasn't the case. It was literally just a loose bolt. And if you've ever been on a mower, which I'm sure you have if you're watching this video, they vibrate a lot. And like I said, we run these things pretty hard, so not a big deal at all. You know what I mean? All in all, like, we have not had any major situations. I mean, we had a couple flat tires, all just basic nonsense. But I think in 2019, I bought this brand new from the dealer, and the machine itself, I think, was $6,000. Yeah, and then we got the bagger system on it, and we got the front thatcher on it. So I think it was $8,000, brand new, with all of that stuff on it. You can't touch that. That is a great, great price for a really good machine. Let me cover two other things here. I'm kind of bouncing around. Another really cool option that comes on these standard is it has a front 2-inch receiver, and that's where you put your thatcher or other attachments, or you could put a tow ball on there. And it also has a rear, the bagger actually goes into this one back here, but it has a rear 2-inch receiver, so you can put a tow hitch on here. And that's a really nice option, is to have those receivers for the tow ball, because, you know, we move the wood chipper around, we move the smaller trailers around the yard all the time, and it has absolutely no problem towing them or holding the weight on there. So all in all, the machine, really great machine, very small amount of problems. You know, we do pretty good amount of maintenance. We change the oil on these things, you know, 2-3 times a year. On average, we put about 200 to 250 hours on, you know, each machine. So I don't know what that is, 50, 75 hours, whatever would change the oil. If it's dirty, we change it. If we have more time, sometimes it goes a little farther. But other than that, like I said, we've had no major issues with this machine at 1,000 hours using it commercially. So, all right, now let's talk about the bagger a little bit. Okay, so we bought this, you know, obviously spring and fall cleanups are big. We're up here in the Northeast in Connecticut, so the bagger was like, you know, I think we really need this. And let's see, I think it was about $1,500 for that whole system with the triple bags on it. So let's talk about the bagger, okay? Would I buy the bagger again? Honestly, I wouldn't. I would not spend the money for the bagger, because for the amount of time that we use it and the amount of time that it works well is really small. I'm telling you, it's a small window. It's either there's a slight bit of moisture, forget it. The stupid thing is not going to work. It's going to clog up. The leaves are too heavy, forget it. It's going to clog up. It has a power fan on the head there. I don't know. I've never had a bagger system that actually worked very well. You know, on a certain day when everything's dry and the leaves are mulched up a little bit, the bagger works pretty well. And then you say, gosh, this thing works pretty good. But 9 out of 10 times, it sucks. Or I should say, it doesn't suck. It clogs up all the time. You're underneath the machine a million times, sticking your hand under there. You're trying to clog the thing, pulling the hose off. We don't even keep clamps on the hose because the hose comes off so many times. So with that being said, I'm going to actually demonstrate it for you today. I'm going to show you the weather. The grass is cut low. I'm going to show you the leaves we have down, and you tell me what you think about the bagger system. And I don't know, maybe I'm using it wrong. I'm not really sure. I might be, I might not be, but to me, I wouldn't do it again. That's just my personal opinion. Maybe as a homeowner who uses it a couple of times a year, whatever, you know. So here's the bag system. This is the power head here. It comes off. There's a pin that goes through the center. Let's see, I can get a better view from here. So there's a pin that goes through here. You just slide that out. The pulley stays. I leave the pulley on all year. We take the bagger off. So you pretty much just put it on these little cams. This thing comes off pretty easily. And like I said, we don't put clamps on here because we pull these off all the time. And then you go around back, and the bag system works pretty good. They come out pretty easily. Like I said, it's just a small window that it works really well, and most of the time it doesn't. And it takes up a lot of room on your trailer again. So you get an idea, 14-foot trailer, you add that bagger system on there, and they do have a weight for the front that goes in the receiver to balance out the weight of the bag. We never use the weight because it's in the way. It's a space thing. So okay, so let's get down to a couple of questions. How does it cut? Does it cut good? Let me tell you, the Badboy cuts really, really nice. It does have an actual, it has a rubber thing on the back of the deck for striping. I don't know that it really helps or it doesn't help much, but it does stripe pretty nice. Depends on the lawn sometimes. Not every lawn stripes really nice, but it does a nice cut. It leaves some questionable lines every once in a while, but for the most part, it really cuts pretty nice. And like I said, the bagger system does work nice. So let's run it around. I'll show you some of the cuts it makes, and let's run over some leaves, and let me show you what I'm talking about with the leaves thing. All right, so there's a few rows. Like I said, it does a really nice job. It cuts beautiful, leaves nice lines there. I don't know how high I can go here and see stripes on there, but in general, it does a really nice job. Now, let's go take a look. I got some leaves set up over here, and I'll show you what they are, and then we'll run the machine over them and we'll see what it does. All right, so we blew out some of the beds over here. We got some leaves right out in the middle of the grass. The grass has been cut. It's really short, so there's not any grass getting built up in here. So let's run the machine over this amount of leaves here and see what it does and see if it clogs up or if it picks them up. Okay, so, you know, made a couple passes here. These are really dry leaves. It's not rained in about a week and we had wind, so it did a pretty good job. Made a few passes, but I mean, all in all, that was a successful leaf pickup, I would say. Let's take it. Sorry about that. Whoa, close. Let's take a quick look at the machine. Let's see if it clogged up, or let's open up the hopper and see what we have in there. So we'll check that first. All right, here we go. Let's pop this open. All right, did a pretty good job. Picked them up. Hose looks clear. Got some grass in there too. And then let's go check on the power head here. Looks pretty good. It's not clogged up. I could tell it's not clogged because I leave a space here when I put the bracket on so I could actually see if it's clogged. There used to be a gasket there. The gasket lasted like 5 minutes. But I say it did a pretty good job. So I guess the bagger system made me look bad today, knocking it, saying I wouldn't buy it again, but it worked pretty good in this situation. But like I was saying, it clogs up most of the time. I don't know. Today it worked out good. I'm glad you got to see it work, but for the most part, the bagger I give a thumbs down. The machine I give a thumbs up. This has been a great machine. I would buy another Badboy in a minute. Yeah, that's the best I can say. I think I covered most of the stuff. I don't think I really left anything out. If I did, please let me know, or if you have any questions, like if you're contemplating buying one of these machines, I would do it. Yeah. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please, if you have any questions about the Badboy or any kind of maintenance things or stuff like that that you want to know about, you know what to do. Right down there in the comments. Thanks for watching. Peace, everybody. Have a great day.